Today, we're going to hold off and work on the IS too much today, but I want to get ready and work on the BMW.
I want this thing completely torn down by the time I come back.
As you guys know, we now have the Supercharger and we have an M52 for the BMW. After much consideration last night, I've come to the conclusion that I am not using the M52 in the car. I'll be using my M50 with M52 parts to run this thing. So I am new to the BMW world, but I've talked to a bunch of BMW guys that I trust, and a lot of guys are saying I'd be happy with the M50, non-Vanos, simple, easy, it should hold the boost a lot better. I'm really pumped to have the M52 as a backup. If I blow the M50 up, we'll throw this in, it's nice and easy, things plug in. Not bad.
Yeah, hell yeah. It's good to have one extra one laying around just in case.
So this engine's stupid healthy, doesn't burn any oil, doesn't leak any oil. All I really have to do is I'm gonna be refreshing a few things on it and throwing the parts that I need off of this engine onto this engine to make the boosty boy work.
Yeah, make her happy.
What we're gonna be doing today is tearing the front end off, breaking it down, and seeing exactly what we need to do to get that thing to fit. It's my first time taking apart the front end, so let's see how fast I can do it. And then the last thing is this just needs to slide out. But it looks like there's a spot weld that literally holds this bracket on. Well, I guess that's it. So there's a spot weld you can see right there on both sides. Now the whole front end can come off. I guess it's just like a first time you pull the front end, you got to drill it type thing, which is good. It means the front end never had to be pulled. It's off. The front end is now off. This is like my favorite part about European cars. There's a lot of European cars, the whole front end just comes off like this. So it makes working on the engine so easy, and it makes engine changes and stops like really a lot easier. Now it's crazy, this whole front end is just like 20 gauge steel. Like this thing is so flimsy. So the radiator is fully off now. We are all set. Coolant is drained. Didn't make a mess. I'm very impressed with myself. Now the last thing we have to do is take off the clutch fan, and now everything will be exposed. We have to lock out the water pump. I tried it. I bent like 3 screwdrivers in the process, so I called up B. Hall, of course, and he has a bunch of expensive tools. So this kit somehow is able to blast that off. So we're gonna figure this out. It doesn't back it out for you. It just kind of breaks it loose, and you just back it up by hand. So that little tool that B. Hall has is pretty awesome. So this thing is gonna be going like somewhere around here. Look how absurd that thing looks. This is gonna be insane. Let's get to work. All right guys, so here's the plate that the Supercharger actually bolts to. So the alternator pulley actually sits in here. So this actually goes in here. All right, so to make that work, we need an ass ton of washers. Now does it delete this pulley setup or what? Super weird. I wish, the problem is this is an older kit. So there really isn't much support on getting this to work. So I think we figured it out. We're getting there. This pulley we actually routed from the M52. Now we had to put a bunch of washers behind the bracket to the alternator to align this pulley with this accessory drive line. And then now there's supposed to be a pulley that bolts to the crank that literally adds another section to your crank pulley. And it's literally flush with the end of the crank. Tommy still has it, but as you can see, these pulleys that it's meant for is basically lined up perfectly with that. So it's sitting exactly where it needs to sit. The only issue is it is hitting the alternator right there. So if you can see, this hole doesn't line up. I might have to like just flapper like a small section of the alternator away. I'm not too scared. So I'm gonna try that, reseat it, and then see if we could find a long washer to fix this gap and see if we could bolt it up. I keep going back and forth trying to mock this up on the M52 and on the M50. Now, it seems to fit the same on both. It's being rough. I think Tommy's S50 is different because when we put it on Tommy's, the whole thing just did not seat right. This one's actually kind of working out with an ass ton of washers, but I just grounded the crap out of my alternator and it still doesn't fit. So either I have to ovalize the holes on the bracket up here or what, because I flappered a ass ton off the alternator. I don't want to flapper any more way. I honestly shouldn't have to. So, and then I put an ass ton of spacers, and I think we're good. I think this will line up straight with the crank pulley now. I'm pretty happy with it. I just had to get the perfect amount of washers and just wedge it. It's basically resting on the alternator. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It's pretty much hitting the, it's like on the alternator, but all right. Now that we have this supercharged wedge in place, I don't even know how it's sitting right now. We're gonna try and mock up the piping that the previous owner was using, and it is definitely thrown together with whatever he had in the garage, but we're gonna get this to work, and then we're gonna modify it to look a little bit nicer. Right here, we have a can. We think it's a carbon canister, so we're gonna delete this because it's in the way. So I found a few couplers laying around the shop trying to get these right because the couplers that are on it were like pretty worn out. And I wish I had all black because it looked nice, but blue's gonna cut it for now. All right, this is working out way better than it was before. The pipe's sitting comfortably, which is really good. I forgot to breathe. So we have all of this for the intake. We got the Euromath. Like, this one's giant compared to the stock one. I don't know what's going on here, but let's figure it out.
I think the spaceman attaches to the... All right, so right now Jimmy is cutting up some spacer adapters to fit the original M50 MAF. The Euromath, we'd love to plug it in, but the plug is completely different. We got a 4-pin here and a 4-pin in a different orientation, so maybe we can just depin it. I think we'll have to look into that and figure it out, but for now we are just going to throw the stock MAF in there.
Like B-Hall just said, we can't run that MAF, so I put a bunch of washers on that OE MAF, but it works, so we're good. So far it's working out. Tommy would have never been happy with this freaking thing. It fits, but you got to make it fit, and I know that's not Tommy's style. This would have looked so janky in the TI, but for my car, it's perfect. It's okay. Okay, so we got this all hooked up. It looks legit. I got to extend the MAF quite a bit, but
It's not big.
now we have the oil feed or oil return. It goes from, we should have did this first, honestly, but whatever. From the charger to basically right here, this oil pressure sensor, and this basically tease it off to putting the oil pressure sensor back here, and then back to the oil, to the supercharger, and then we have to find the drain. Where's the drain?
No, man. To the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's PCV.
Guys, so for the oil drain on the supercharger, it's basically just a fitting that we're going to put a rubber hose to and then into the dipstick. What's cool about having the M52 is the M52 dipstick, here. The M52 dipstick, for some reason it has this branch on it, so we could literally drain it right back into this branch, which is awesome because the M51 doesn't have it. So we're just going to stick it in there and then run a line from the supercharger to here. So this is the wrong size tube, unfortunately. It won't go into the oil pan, but there's like a inner tube that's the right size, so we're gonna try and cut the outer skin and see if it's there. But actually working. B-Hall cut the second layer off.
I was over it.
Finessed it.
We must have another
spot weld because there was
I don't know.
Just keep peeling it back. Dude, that's so sick.
You could take an M52 dipstick tube, cut this outer layer off, and jam it in an M50 and run any type of turbo or supercharger application, and now you have an OEM oil drain.
So you guys look how nice this is. It drains right back into the dipstick. That's so easy. We don't have to tap the oil pan or anything. It's really cool. Drain line is on. Let me show the viewers. I had to take off the bracket, unfortunately, but whatever. So we got it right there, just like a turbo, dripping right down to the oil pan. Well, the dipstick. So I put the bracket back on, and I got to extend the MAF. And if I had the crank pulley, it'd be done. Untuned at least, but whatever. Guys, so we have our basically fully installed. We don't have the Euro upgraded MAF on there. We have the OEM MAF. Didn't put the injectors in now. What I do want to do is I want to start the car, make sure everything's good on it, make sure it idles, and then from there, I'm going to put the new injectors in, figure out what I should do for that MAF. I'm going to order the chip tune for it, and we should be all set. I still have to play with the supercharger a little bit more because it's seated a little more crooked than I was hoping for when I took the bracket off and put it back on. So I'm happy with it. Gonna put the front end back on tomorrow. I gotta get the crank pulley from Tommy so I can throw the belt on and we could hear this thing whine. I clean tomorrow. I should clean tonight, but whatever. We're gonna go up to B-Hall shops tonight because he has to work on his E36. It's late. He meant to all day, but he got caught up with me. And once we're in the zone, we kind of get stuck in the zone. So we're gonna head to B-Hall's, check out his E46, and hopefully get the subframe reinforcement done today.
Yeah, at least we gotta drop the rear subframe and get all that out.
If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, B-Hall got a E46 for daily. So
yeah, man.
We'll see it in just a few seconds. So let's get to it. If they didn't watch yesterday's video, what happened?
With what? Buying this?
Yeah.
I just wanted to buy it, man. And also my 750, the engine is no bueno. There's a lot of ticking noise going on in the valve train. It's about to blow up.
It's not getting fixed. So B-Hall really wanted to get himself a nice new daily, and he wanted the 3 Series, and he wanted E36, but he was kind of looking for a mechanic special, obviously, because he's got the skills, and he wanted the price to be right, and I don't blame him. He wanted the 328. He wanted it white. He wanted a 4-door. And look at that. Perfect situation. Now, with this, something is broken, and that is the rear subframe mount. Now, it's a very common thing with E46. When their subframe bushings go bad, it tends to snap the mounts off of the frame. Luckily, only one is snapped, and B-Hall is the man to fix it. So, you got it for stupid cheap. It's a 5-speed M52. The interior is really nice. Hey guys, I'm going to show you the broken subframe mount. You probably won't see it too well because of just like there's a lot going on, but I mean, yeah, see that giant hole that's in there? It's not supposed to be there. I mean, look at this one. No hole. The first step in removing a subframe is to unbolt the drive shaft. And then we got to unbolt the exhaust, and then like the 4 subframe bolts, and the whole thing just go. So the exhaust bolts are completely.
I don't want to touch those.
Yes.
If I'm touching those, I'm just going to replace them, which I probably should do right now, but
Nah, we're going to make a bitchin' axle back.
Yeah. Although I'm probably going to end up welding this piece exactly back where I cut it, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it's besides the point.
It's so quiet still.
I know, that's why I said it. It's probably not going to be that loud.
It's nice.
Well, it still has a little BMW pop. All right.
All right, guys, so we neglected the fact we had to remove our brake lines. More annoyingly enough, the e-brake lines. I don't know if there's like a quick disconnect in the back, but we're trying to find it. It's a pain in the ass. We got no trans jack, but Miguel's a painter, so he's got a few of these laying around.
That'll work. Oh yeah.
I think it'll work. So the subframe's hanging by the e-brake. So this is one of those moments where we should have just not been stubborn mechanics and just went to the internet for some help initially. So the e-brake, we have to disconnect the e-brake we have to disconnect the e-brake cables at the handle and then pull them through. But the thing that sucks is now we have to add a bunch of more steps because we have to remove the heat shield, so we have to remove the drive shaft, and then we can get to the cables.
And now the subframe's hanging out of the car.
By the cables. So yeah, we're gonna figure something out and get back to you. Well, the one time I didn't film, it actually worked. So we officially have the subframe on a painting stand, which is sick. So pull the e-brake cables through, and we're gonna raise the car so you guys can see what's going on. Funny subframe. Look at this. It's just a tubular piece. It's actually pretty small. Really, the size is in the control arms.
Yeah. No, there's big beefy aluminum control arms.
All right, guys. Now I could show you the real damage with the subframe support.
It's missing.
That looks so bad now. Before, it didn't look that bad.
Yeah, with the subframe bolted in there.
So that's what it looks like. Where's the other one? That's what it's supposed to look like. That circle right there. Yeah, that's it.
Right, and you can see here.
This is B-holes.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see where all the spot welds are remaining, and you see where it started to break around all the spot welds.
Yeah.
It's just a design flaw.
Oh my god, that looks so bad.
Whoa, well,
I've seen you fix way worse stuff.
Yeah. So. I'm not worried about it, honestly.
Nice.
So.
All right, so tonight's goal was accomplished here at B-Hall Shop. We got the rear subframe out. You're dirty.
I'm dirty.
I'm
tired. It's pretty late. I think my grandfather was a coal miner.
Today was awesome. We got the Supercharger kit on for the most part. We still need to get the crank pulley from Tommy and get the belt and Supercharger. Then we can hear that thing whine, and I cannot wait to hear that thing whine. Now, until I do get a tune for it, we really can't beat on it, but we could drive it around. Like, that'll be fine. I'm not worried about it, but I'm really excited for that. So that's it for tonight. It's late. I can't think straight. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and B-Hall.
Have a great night.